How many times have you put a lead magnet together only to get crickets once you post it onto social media? You've tried different posts, reels, even on your stories, and you still get nothing. Now, what I've been trialing with myself and a few of my clients is a method to get more people to opt in to your lead magnets so you can nurture them and then eventually turn them into paying clients. Now, I run this strategy with Dan, and Dan is a fellow business coach, and we do help each other out. So he put out this carousel, and it wasn't fancy. It didn't take him hours to edit. He just did it on his phone. And we got something like 35 likes, which is amazing. The reach wasn't anything to shout about either. We got around about 18 saves and 9 people who opted in. Now, you're probably thinking 9 people isn't a lot. And you're right. But if you zoom out and if you run 2 of these a week, say you get 9 each time, that's 18 for the week. Over 2 weeks, that's 36 by my maths. And over the month, that's 72. 72 people that opted in, that said, yeah, this is something that I need help with, and I want you to help me. That's what an opt-in is. Even though the help is for free, it's still the same thing. Now with saves, I just want to cover saves quickly. I think you got something like 18, 19, or 20 saves, something like that. Saves mean, yes, this is useful, but I'm not ready to have help with this. I'm willing to do this on my own, utilizing what you've already given me. I'm not willing to raise my hand. So there are still people who are watching your stuff, or Dan's stuff, should I say, that aren't quite ready to take that leap, but it pushes them further down the pipeline. So what we're going to go through today is the exact method that we use to come up with this carousel. So we're going to break it down. Sure, I'm a 90s baby. You know that DX track, the entrance music. Yeah, anyway, I digress. So 7 to 10 slides, depending on how deep you want to go on this topic. I recommend anything under 9, purely because people do get bored. But your job is to engage them and the right people. We're after the right people here. So slide number 1 should highlight a promise. What are they going to get by scrolling through this carousel? The second slide is going to highlight pain. Now, these two can be interchanged. You can either lead with a promise or you can lead with a pain point. And then the second slide is the opposite of that. Now, something crafty that you want to do here is ask for a save. So let's run this through. If you utilize this carousel, I can promise you you're going to lose 10 pounds in the next 6 weeks. The pain would be, so that's the promise, the pain would be, if you've tried many a diet before or many a workout before, make sure you save this post. Cool. So we've got to that stage. The next 3 to 4 slides, I recommend 3 to 4, are going to be the steps that they need to take to action and get to the result. 3 to 4, 5 at a push. And don't be afraid to add context on all of these slides, okay? Because remember, we've framed it in such a way that we said, look, this is going to be super useful. You made a promise on the front end. You've repeated their pain back to them. So don't be afraid to flesh it out just a little bit. Don't write reams and reams of information on there. Make it actionable, but add context as well. And then finally, your CTA should be for your lead magnet or YouTube via a comment. Now remember, people who save and people, let's go for a different color. People who save and people who comment are at different stages in a buying cycle. These are willing to DIY, do it themselves. These are willing to get help to have it done with them, done with you, okay? Now, that isn't the end. We're going to get a bit more strategic here. And the follow-up from this is split into 2 sections. So the first section, I'll put a line down the middle, is using ManyChat. And This is ideally if you are utilizing YouTube or email. Some of you might not be at that stage yet, so you're going to rely heavily on DMs. Cool. So let's see what happens. Somebody comments on the post. They want the thing. You reply to that comment, and you can say something like, yeah, it's in your DMs, check your DMs, and direct them there. Okay. Once they are in the DMs, or once you message them in the DMs, you're going to say, hey, listen, I saw that you opted in for the fat loss guide, the mindset module, so and so, so on and so forth. So remind them about why you are messaging them, because they can mistake it for a cold DM. People have got short memories this day and age. So you need to remind them and then ask for their email. Cool. Once you've got that email using the ManyChat automation, that will automatically populate into your CRM if you've got one. If not, there's another way around it, which I'll cover in a later video. Once you reminded them, then deliver the thing. And I like to deliver this in the DMs because I can see if they've seen it, whether they've liked it, whether they've interacted with the thing, which then allows me to follow up with them and be like, what was your favorite part about the thing that I sent you? What was the most useful? Which one are you struggling with the most? And it opens up a sales conversation. Once you delivered it, it could go one of two ways. They could blank you. So which means you're going to remind them again. Like I said, people are busy. Or you push them into an email nurture sequence. And in the email nurture sequence, you can either use YouTube or you can use further emails to drive value. Once you've done that, you want to continue that process of providing value and hit them with an offer via the YouTube or the email, which then eventually gets them onto a call. Hope that makes sense. So that is if you're using email. And YouTube, okay? Now, if you haven't got to the stage where you're utilizing email and YouTube, that's absolutely fine. This section here, up until this point, is going to be for your DMs, right? So once you're reminding them and they haven't got back to you, let's say, for example, what I get my clients to do is move them over to the hot list inside the Expert OS. Now, if you're not utilizing emails or YouTube, you should be relying heavily on this. You should be in your DMs every day. And your job as a coach, as a business owner, is to move people along that pipeline, which gets them closer to making a purchasing decision, whether it's on a call, whether it's on a document. So the hot list. And this is all inside the Expert OS. And if you do want details of what that entails, check out the link in the description. Now, once you're inside the Expert OS, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You can click on this button here, if I can zoom in close enough, which says, who needs a message today? Like I said, your job is to move somebody through your pipeline every single day. Cards cannot go stale. Contacts cannot go stale. Your job is to move them, touch points with them, have touch points with them, and build a relationship with them. And this helps you do the same. It even allows you to send a message in a manner which is in line with your offer and your tone, because the Expert OS is trained heavily on your offer and your brand positioning, your tone, your terminology, and everything. Okay? And with enough time, with enough touch points, you'll get them onto a call. So that is the entire play when it comes to creating this carousel, which gets people to comment, and then moving them through this process, whether you're going to use ManyChat or you're going to rely on DMs. Now, one thing I want to make clear, carousels are a powerful tool. They're powerful because the person reading the information, taking in the information, reads at their pace. And also it reads in their tone. And they take what they want from it. So make sure you utilize this. Like I said, the description for the details for the Expert OS is in the description below, as well as other links which could help you out. I'll also leave these two slides below so you can go out and utilize that. I'll catch you next time.